said that he would later find out that this girl was into some dark shit. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had other plans. She was tired of the back and forth.
Yeah, I'm about to expose every lie they done told, like how they trafficking kids and why they ain't got a soul. They feeding off our energy, trying to destroy the globe. They got weather control, they even making it snow. But we can't run from it, gotta grab it by the antler.
See, these are the things that I be trying to warn y'all about when it comes to the more, let's just say, sicker individuals that's inside of the spiritual community, man. This is crazy. Let's jump into this, man.
I want another love spell story because I'm on a roll today. Somebody just submitted this one to me, and this one is good. I can't believe you guys are this unhinged. Let's get into the story time. This one is T. We're gonna call this guy Andre. Andre was the one who submitted this story to me, and Andre's Jamaican. So Andre was in a relationship with this girl, and they had a very tumultuous relationship. That means for whatever reason, the relationship was always toxic. It seemed like they were always getting together and breaking up, getting together and breaking up. Until one day, Andre was like, I really cannot take this no more. I really want out of this relationship. I want nothing to do with this. He said that a couple months went by, and one day he just felt the urge to just get back together with the girl, so he did. He said that he would later find out that this girl was into some dark shit. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had other plans. She was tired of the back and forth. So after they got back together, Andre said that they always had like a super close best friend relationship where they could tell each other anything. So one day, as a joke, she winds up saying something along the lines of, you know, for a second there, I was scared. I didn't think my stuff was working. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think I was gonna get you back. So then Andre asked her, like, what do you mean by that? And she said, as a joke, what if I did Obia on you and that's why you're here? As a joke, though. They both laughed about it and moved on. He also mentioned that upon them getting back together, she was really, really pushy in terms of sex. He said that he was never the type of dude to run a red light, okay? But one day, during that time of the month for his girl, she really wanted to do it. And she convinced him, and they did it. Keep in mind that this girl had already met Andre's parents, and Andre mentioned that his mother never liked his girlfriend. But you know, Jamaican parents are hard to please. One day, the mom came up to him and said, son, I had a dream. Like, I really don't like that girl, you know? I had a dream that your grandmother came to me and told me that she was working Obia on you. Do what you want with that information, but I don't think you should stay with her. Andre,
I will tell you this, man. Them ancestors, they'll come through them dreams, man. You just got to be open enough to actually receive it.
Is a spiritual dude. Andre's a spiritual dude, but he's like, Obia? I don't know. So he decides to go home, and he sat his girlfriend down and started by saying, I know what you've been doing to me, just to see if she would say anything. He said that my mother came up to me and said that she had a dream, and went on to tell her what the mother's dream was. And he said, well, does that sound familiar? And homegirl would say, okay, so now here's the tea. She said during one of their back and forth, she said that, well, she read somewhere that blood is a very powerful ingredient to binding. And mirrors are also very powerful magic tools. So she thought, why don't I just combine both? She said that one day, she missed him so much that she wrote his name in blood in the mirror, and she stood in front of it and summoned him. She was also saying affirmation like, you're obsessed with me, you want me, you love me, you can't leave me alone. She said she didn't think it would work because she had only did it once, and it took him a while to get to her, to get back together with her. And she also brought up that time that they did it while she was on her. He said he was utterly disgusted that she would even do something like that. He said he left. He said he did a cleanse on one of the beaches. He wore all white and then walked into the water, dunked his head to try to cleanse himself and get rid of her energy or her spirit around. Well, he successfully stayed away from her. But she, on the other hand, cannot leave that man alone. He says that this girl is literally obsessed with him, like showing up to his house, obsessed with him, get cussed out by his family and still comes back because she wants the man that bad. She told him that if he doesn't get back together with her, that she will unalive herself. And she attempted. Her family found her, took her to the hospital. And when she came back home from the hospital, guess who was the first person she went to go see? Andre. And Andre says that it's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama. It's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama, his sister, his cousin. She done got jumped. And that girl don't care. She want that man. He says that she doesn't present as a physical threat to him, but he's definitely afraid for the ladies around him because she has also showed up to his dates, sat on top of his car, and refused to get off the car because he was with another woman. And yeah, now he's thinking about moving because he cannot get rid of her. And the craziest thing is he didn't do nothing. She was trying to get him to be obsessed with her, but some way, somehow, I never heard this before, but a Uno reverse happened and she winded up being the obsessed one.
And you know what, man? That's why I always say, do not be out here just putting spell work on people, man, and y'all don't even know if they protected. Y'all just be out here just doing whatever. Y'all just going with the motion of things because you think people out here blind, you know what I'm saying, to the fact that the spiritual realm is really real, and you want to go out and you want to put a love spell on them, but you don't even know they highly protected. Their ancestors sitting around them all the time, y'all. That's crazy, man. Let's jump into this next video, man. This next video was crazy as well, y'all.
My grandmother told me never be desperate enough for love that you do a love spell on somebody, and this is why. We're gonna call this woman Yoli, and we're gonna call her boyfriend Mark. So Yoli was in love with Mark, okay? There's nothing that Yoli was not willing to do for this man. That was her man. That was her person. Like, she would go to bat for Mark. Like, she would take a bullet for Mark. However, it just wasn't reciprocated. Now, keep in mind, this story took place in Haiti. And if you know anything about Haitian men, like, I'm not going to say too much, but, like, they be having, like, 10 different families. So, needless to say, that Mark had these little things on the side, and Mark was...
Crazy how she said she ain't going to say too much, but she done told everything, y'all.
Definitely dragging Yoli through the mud. And if you know anything else about Haitian women, we love a good gossip. So all the other women from the neighborhood would just watch how Yoli and Mark move about and just go gossip about her behind her back. And Yoli, being aware of this fact, was just honestly dying from embarrassment. Not only is it embarrassing that everybody else has this image of her, but it's also embarrassing that she knows that she loves this man and there's not a thing that she's not willing to do for him. So why isn't it reciprocated? It's a weird juxtaposition of siding with everybody else but wanting to stay with that person. One day Mark comes home and Mark tells Yoli that, yo, basically, like, I'm not gonna lie, you're great, but like, we're gonna have to part our ways. Needless to say, Yoli didn't take it very well because they were still living together, right? Until Yoli got the brilliant idea. So Yoli decides, I shot this part so many times and my TikTok just keeps fucking up. So she decides, she goes to the priest and she tells him that she wants a love spell done on Mark. And the voodoo priest is like, okay, but just so you know, this is what it would entail. This potion that he was about to give her, which included her blood, by the way, which was what did the binding, right?
And I want y'all to listen up very closely to what she's about to get ready to say, because this is actually how a lot of these things take place, man, especially when you talk about dealing with people who may have abandonment issues, so on and so forth, to the point where they feel like they just can't take losing another person in their life, right? That they know that's bringing some form of stability, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, or whatever, y'all. They will go to this extent. And because you don't see this inside of your world, you're not vibrating at that frequency, it can easily be overlooked. You see what I'm saying? Because you like who takes the time out to actually go to a practitioner to try to get something to keep a person under the spell? But you don't know. This could be in some way, form, or fashion like a trend or something. That's not a trend, but like more so like a ritual that she does, maybe like a routine. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain relationships, because of some form of abandonment. And I'm not just pointing at the goddesses, I'm pointing at the gods as well. It could be some type of, routine that they do because, they have certain abandonment issues that they have not gotten over.
Keep that in mind. So this potion, once you feed it to Mark, would last for the next 6 months. After those 6 months, you don't even want to wait for those 6 months to be up because you need to come back before those 6 months are up, get you another potion and feed it to Mark because you do not want to reap the consequences of your own actions of putting a love spell on somebody. Mark became a new man, so much so that the entire neighborhood even starts to notice and they even start to talk about it. Like, what is going on? Didn't Mark really not care for Yoli like that? Like, why are they all buddy-buddy now? Okay, we here for it though. For the first 6 months, it is as though Mark made a complete 180. Like, he was a completely new man. He was a family-oriented man. He even got Yoli pregnant and proposed to her in that time. Yoli, being a fan of this potion, said, well, I'm not waiting for my 6 months to come up. I'm going back now and I'm getting some more. So she went back and she got another potion before the 6 months was up and fed it again to Mark to, ensure longevity in this princess treatment that she was getting. So Mark has no idea that he's under a spell, that anything is being done to him. Like, he is living his life regularly. Keep in mind, when you go to a voodoo priest and they do these services for you guys, this is not cheap, okay? So you actually have to come out of pocket and pay a ton of money to cover your life like this. Yoli had an amazing year, okay? She had an amazing year with Mark. She was now pregnant. She was ready to start her life with her man until finances hit. Meaning that Yoli can't afford to go to the voodoo priest again to get a new potion. So, her thinking, this is probably just a marketing scheme anyway that the voodoo priest told her, so she can keep coming back and keep spending her money, because it's been a whole year and her man was sweet. So she said, I ain't going back. I am not spending my money again. So, the year went on, the potion wore off, and child, Mark was back. When the spell wore off of Mark, now, trigger warning, DV. When that spell wore off, it is as though all of the love and all of the adoration that Mark had for Yoli over that year, all of it turned into hate, but tenfold. One day, Mark woke up and he hated Yoli. So it started off pretty slow. So, domestic violence. So now Mark is an extremely violent man. So Mark is whooping Yoli's every chance he gets. So now Yoli has found herself in an extremely abusive relationship that she wasn't even in before. And keep in mind, she's with child. Verbal abuse, physical abuse, she was dealing with all of it. Mark also became just an angry individual just in his regular life. He was very short-fused and very short-tempered with people in general. He seemed to have no sympathy for even the baby that Yoli seemed to be carrying for him. So Yoli decides to go back to the priest and get yet another dose and goes back home and feeds it to Mark. Except this time she didn't get the princess treatment that she got the first time. She got Mark being extremely in love with her, but the abuse was still there. If not, it was worse. Yoli could not get away from this man. And it's damned if you do and damned if you don't, because in 6 months, when this new potion wears off, what will become of Mark? And if she doesn't do it, what will become of her? So it's kind of like, does she get another potion just to keep him sweet so she can stay alive? Or does she just lean him off? Like, what to do? Yoli goes to her family about it, and her family decides, we're going to help you get away, Yoli, because you need to get out of there now, because he will unalive you at some point. So the family drives over and gets Yoli. So it's like a secret rescue mission while he's not home. So the family gets her and they escape.
See, that's like a big violation of spiritual law, because what you see someone do when they do like love spells and things like that, you're actually taking away that person's will. Okay, to just do, to just be, to have their own direction. You see what I'm saying? So it's a violation of spiritual law. But this is a funny video, y'all, because I actually seen another video where, a love spell actually backfired on somebody, man. She was, I guess, in love with a guy who she had a baby by, but the baby didn't stop the guy from cheating, okay? He was continuously going out cheating, and, he would actually go out and pay for it, all right? He would go get, like, some of what they would call, like, lot lizards, all right? He would go get them and pay for it, and she just couldn't understand why it was that he was doing it when he had her at home. Well, she went to a practitioner, got a love spell for him, put something in his food for him to eat, so on and so forth, and come to find out, the reason he was doing it because he would like to have intercourse and then, assault the women that he was dealing with. You see what I'm saying? So he would pay these women to do that. So when she put the love spell on him, it backfired in the form of, now he was in love with her, but she was also receiving the violence that he was paying these women for. You feel me? And that's why I tell a lot of y'all, man, stay away from the love spell. Do not violate people's free will in that manner by casting things over them, because eventually they're going to become aware of it. Because, a lot of times what a lot of people don't understand is that they're covered, bro. They have a real spiritual team around them that's willing to go to war for them. Yeah, they allow them to go through it for a minute because it's necessary in order for them to become aware of what's actually going on in this realm of reality. But no, it ain't gonna last too long. They're gonna eventually wake up from it and then, they're gonna walk away anyway. And you know, it's on some occasions it could actually backfire on you to the point where you're the one that's obsessive, like we just seen in the last story, y'all. All right, but this is the prime example of why I tell a lot of y'all, man, do not just be laying them cups down, man. Don't be out there just partying with nobody. Don't be allowing just nobody to cook your food, man, because you see how it's a lot of women out here playing with the blood. Okay, it's a lot of men that do it too as well. You know, you have to understand the reason that they wanted to actually, you know, get these type of fluids, because it's a form of bodily fluid that can strengthen the you know, the binding ritual. All right. But with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below, man. I love to know what it is that you think about this, and if you ever had like some experiences with this, man, because this is real, and I know a lot of y'all in the spiritual realm have dealt with this already. All right. But with that being said, I just want to leave y'all as I came. I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Ashay.